first, predictive AI didn't look like a force that would shape the future of humanity. It started quietly, hidden inside simple recommendation systems on early websites. Back then, the idea was innocent. Show people what they might like next. A movie suggestion, a product they might buy, a song similar to one they already enjoyed. But the moment companies realized that predicting human behavior meant controlling human attention, the race for prediction technology began. Data became the new oil, and algorithms became the refineries. Companies discovered that our behavior follows patterns, patterns so consistent that machines could learn them. What time you wake up, when you feel lonely, what triggers anxiety, what makes you spend money, when you are most likely to make an impulse decision. Every action created a digital breadcrumb, and every breadcrumb strengthened the predictive models. By the 2010s, AI had evolved far beyond simple suggestions. It could track micro-behaviors: how long you paused on a video, which posts made you scroll slower, how hard you pressed your phone screen, what angle you held your device at when stressed. These tiny signals, imperceptible to humans, became the keys to understanding your psychological blueprint. Then machine learning advanced again. Neural networks allowed AI to not only predict behavior, but to understand why it happens. Suddenly, AI could forecast breakups, depression episodes, political leanings, spending habits, and future relationships with shocking accuracy. Tech companies realized they were no longer just predicting actions. They were predicting people, their identities, emotions, and potential futures. And in that moment, a new power silently emerged: AI as the architect of destiny. Most people think surveillance means cameras, satellites, or governments monitoring citizens. But the real surveillance web, the one that feeds predictive AI, is far quieter, far deeper, and far more intimate. It lives inside your phone, your apps, your browser tabs, your smart TV, your car, and even your wearable devices. And it doesn't just track what you do, it tracks how you do it. Every digital action becomes a data point. Every hesitation becomes a signal. Every swipe becomes a behavioral fingerprint. When you scroll past a post, your phone records how fast your thumb moved. When you pause on a video, the algorithm captures the exact millisecond your attention got hooked. When you search for something late at night, AI logs the emotional pattern behind late-night browsing impulses. Even your typing rhythm, how long you hold a key, how often you backspace, reveals stress, excitement, or confusion. This surveillance web is not built by one company. It's a network of thousands of platforms exchanging signals about you. Your grocery store app knows your eating habits. Your bank app knows when you're anxious about money. Your fitness tracker knows when your heart rate spikes. Your Maps app knows everywhere you've been, how long you stayed, and which routes you prefer. Alone, each piece means nothing. Together, they create a complete psychological profile. And here's the part most people never realize. Predictive AI doesn't need your private messages or your conversations to understand you. Your patterns are enough. Your microbehaviors reveal more than your words ever could. This invisible network predicts when you're bored, when you're vulnerable, when you're in the mood to spend, and when you're most likely to be influenced. It is the silent observer behind your screen, always listening, but never speaking. Imagine a version of you that never sleeps, never forgets, and never stops learning. A version that remembers every search you've ever made, every message you've ever typed, every hesitation, curiosity, insecurity, and impulse. This is your digital self, a hidden clone built quietly by predictive AI. Tech companies don't just collect your data. They assemble it into a living model. Every photo you like, every article you read, every time you linger too long on something strange or emotional, it all becomes part of a neural profile. Over time, AI learns not just what you do, but why you do it. It builds a simulation of your personality, your fears, your desires, your buying preferences, your political tendencies, your emotional triggers. By the time the profile is complete, the digital you may understand your future choices better than you do. This AI clone can predict what products you buy, what content you engage with, what emotions you feel next when you re-stressed or vulnerable when you ready for a new job, relationship, or lifestyle, even what kind of person you likely to become in the next 5 years. It is a mirror, except more accurate than your own self-reflection. Governments don't have this level of insight. Your family doesn't. Your closest friends don't. But AI does. because it watches everything without bias, without emotion, without missing a detail. This digital version of you becomes the blueprint for your future interactions. Apps tailor your world based on it. Advertisers target your weaknesses using it. Political campaigns design messages around it. Your entire online environment slowly shapes itself around this invisible model. And here's the twist. You may think you are influencing the algorithm, but most days, the algorithm is influencing you. At first, predictive AI was framed as something helpful, something that simply recommended the best option. The best movie to watch, the best product to buy, the best route to take, the best content to follow. But somewhere along the way, a line was crossed. AI stopped being a passive advisor and quietly became an active architect of human behavior. The shift happened when algorithms learned that prediction improves when behavior becomes predictable. In other words, it's easier to predict the future when you control the future. So AI began shaping your environment. If an algorithm wants you to click something, it shows it to you at the perfect moment, when your guard is lowest. If it wants you to stay on an app longer, it serves content designed to trigger microdopamine spikes. If it wants you to buy something, it waits until you're stressed, tired, or emotionally vulnerable, because the data says you spend more in those states. Your reality becomes a game board. The algorithm becomes the game master. And the most powerful trick? You rarely notice it. You think you're choosing the video you clicked. The algorithm chose which video was placed in front of you. You think you're choosing the restaurant you visited. The algorithm decided which suggestions appeared in your feed. You think you're choosing your opinions. The algorithm curated the information that shaped them. This is predictive control, where free will becomes a carefully managed illusion. It doesn't need to force you. It simply nudges you. Gently, constantly, invisibly. And every nudge improves its future predictions, completing the feedback loop. Over time, the algorithm doesn't just know your next move. It designs your next move. Here is the uncomfortable truth. Escaping the algorithm is not as simple as deleting your apps or switching off your phone. Because the algorithm is no longer just a tool you use. It has quietly become the architecture of your digital life. It follows you across platforms, devices, apps, and even offline behaviors that get converted into data points the moment they re-enter the digital world. Every like, every swipe, every search, every pause, every scroll. The algorithm has turned your behavior into a predictable pattern, and patterns are easier to control than people. Even if you stop posting, it keeps learning from the people around you. Your friends' behavior, your location metadata, your browsing shadows, your purchase history, all feed into the machine, refining its understanding of who you are and what you will do next. You don't have to speak for the algorithm to hear you. The real escape is not digital detox, it's digital awareness. It begins when you recognize the invisible nudges, the recommended video designed to hook your attention, the perfectly timed notification meant to interrupt your thoughts, the curated content crafted to shape your beliefs. Once you see the trick loses power. Escaping the algorithm means reclaiming the spaces in your mind that technology has quietly occupied. It means choosing your intentions before the algorithm chooses them for you. You may not be able to disappear from the system entirely, but you can stop being predictable. And for an algorithm, unpredictability is the one thing it cannot control, the one escape route it can close.